Week
Whoa,
3.
whoa, whoa,
Oh, howdy, gentlemen of the HHFL. This is your point champion once again, 3 weeks running, Jacob, and I'm here with Jordan and Hunter, two of our guests this week who are not on a hot streak. And then we have our reliable host, Jesse Everett.
what's up? What's up? I am as close to 500 as you can get. I'd like to think, and hopefully I'll be even closer at the end of this week.
I might have some bad news for you on that regard.
I'm actually looking forward to it because you got me the first time we played, and I was very upset about it. But I'm feeling confident about it now. Got a little bit of a different team. I think you do as well. I'm scared of Jamar. I just think that Chase is going to have a huge game for
At any given
no
moment.
reason.
Any given moment.
I'm so scared. And then I saw you put Hollywood in so that whenever Kyler plays, if Hollywood catches the big bomb touchdown, it'll be interesting. I think you might sneak one from me here and ruin my season. Anyway, Alfred and I were talking as we've had so much time to chat the past few weeks. I just feel like I see his face all the time now. And we came up with the idea that we should be doing like the tribal council during Survivor for the players that have been eliminated from playoff contention. So welcome you two for officially being eliminated from season 2 playoffs. Let's start with Hunter. You look like you got some things to say.
Nah, I mean, honestly, I've had a lot of time this season to process what's happened. So it's not like I'm really shocked at this point. I feel like I've had a pretty strong last couple of weeks as far as points put up. I'm beating the conglomerate in points for. I'm right there with Jordan. I'm right there with the Migos or someone else, Siraj. So, I'm proud of what I've done. But, I've been accepting my fate for quite a while now.
Yeah,
Jordan?
I just, you picked the wrong workhorses in the draft. Shit just doesn't pan out every time. I went balls to the wall with Najee in 3 leagues. It was like struggle just to recover from some of the people I picked. Keenan Allen got injured week 1. Just not seeing the kind of production you want to see. I did my best to salvage the season. I got pretty close. There's some couple starts there that I could have easily swapped and then won a couple more games. Notably, the hardest decision this year for me has been whether to start Younghoe Koo or Nick Folk. and starting the wrong guy in that position has cost me 3 games so far this year. So, just didn't make good management decisions, and I got nobody to blame but myself. And I'm kind of in that same boat with Hunter where I've had some time to process loss, and grief. So,
I mean, we could be here for an hour if I wanted to talk about my injuries and my
I was gonna say, you look at the league overall summary, right? Just scoring and points. And Jordan, I'm sorry to do this to you, but you're the only guy in the 1400 points for. So It's not very surprising. Actually, the most surprising thing is that you weren't eliminated until this week because you have so many points against. But then you were getting wins. Like you were kind of sneaking wins on people, right?
Hey,
you're staying there.
He beat me by 5 that week when I put up 140, bro. That shit was that one hurt. That one hurt so bad.
When possible, our team will play to the competition. A lot of the losses I've had have been less than 20-point spreads. We play down. We play down to our competition. That's our worst problem.
So. That's okay. That's okay because sometimes you play better teams and then you can match. Now, I wanted to really bring up the points scored and against because of Hunter. And it's so interesting because there are 3 teams that are over 1,700 points against. Now, the only unique characteristic of those 3 teams is that Hunter is in a division by himself against Cougar. Both Alfred and I, or I think it's Jordan and Alfred, are in rows. So it makes sense. We're generally the lower scoring divisions. We played some of the other higher scoring people, whatever. Hunter had to play a lot of other teams, I feel like it's just such an anomaly that he has almost 1,800 points scored. You're by far the most scored on. And you have a good chunk of points scored, like, for your team. But the points against is just an astronomical, like, anomaly. Like, I cannot believe that it happened to you.
No, and I have a guy in my other league who this happens to almost every year, it seems. So I always feel bad for him, and it's just my turn to be this guy now, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like, let's just recap this. Week 1, you beat Prue with 143. That's a pretty good score, right? Like, you had to feel good coming in to the.
I did. I was bragging on Devontae that week. I remember. He put up like 30.
Yeah, I remember because you called your shot on him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then lose to Jake in a shitty game. Then you lose dropping 120. You lose dropping 150. You lose dropping 130. Bad game. You lose dropping 143. And then your most recent one, you lose dropping 136. Feel bad for you, man. Like, there's some wins out there. Not that
I look at the scoreboard. I always look at the scoreboard around the league, just when it's, Sunday at like 4:00, see what's happening. And I'm just watching someone drop, 150 on me again. And I look around at the 96 to 110 games, and I'm like, man, fuck you guys.
Hey. Alfred last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, where it's like me and him, and we're just having this heavyweight bout of all our plays going nuclear. And then you look around and Gabe and Jed dropped 84 to beat Ian or something, who dropped like 53. And you're like, what?
76.
It's a slugfest over there.
Yeah.
It's funny. But I'm looking at Jordan's team here, and, Hunter, you started 1-0. Had to be feeling great. Jordan started 0-2. That had to be a rough feeling. And then you come back in division and just whoop me. Basically by 20 points, blew out projections, the whole thing. Where do you think you lost your momentum? Where do you think it all went downhill?
I'm pulling it up right now just so I can see a little bit better.
It's all good. Hunter, if you've got an answer, you can too. No worries.
I was,
I'll let Jordan go.
Whenever I was playing you, Jesse, I was starting Joe Flacco, Drake London, Brandon Ayuk, Najee Pierce, Kyle Pitts, and Tampa Bay defense and Young Hoku. So a lot of those names are irrelevant, and they've been irrelevant for most of the season. I think me beating you was enough to, convince some teams to trade with me. So from that point forward, I was trading a lot for like the next 4 weeks.
Yeah, there was a lot of roster movement this year.
Yeah, especially for me. And then I think the defining moment was just week 8. Week 7, week 8, I put up 140 back to back. Mm-hmm. And then just losing to Siraj week 9, I told Jake, I was like, I'm not making it. I was like, I needed to beat Siraj. It would have been much easier to beat Siraj whenever I have a healthy team.
Yeah.
Had some bye weeks coming up. But, after that, for like the next 4 weeks through week 10, I was scoring around 100 flat. So,
yeah. Well,
it is what it is.
It's a kind of a sad story so far. So we're going to kind of shift gears. Maybe you guys can, break out the notepad, get some pens and paper, maybe open up a OneNote, because Alfred started 0-3, averaging 96 points a week. And then, boom, week 4 happens. He hasn't been under 100 since. How does that happen? That's yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I had it ready.
I like the RGB. It helps with the frames, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think for Alfred, having C-Mac is always going to be just a force. And then not only having C-Mac, but he gets traded to a more run-heavy offense halfway through the season.
On a much better team.
On a much better team. Like,
hitting Josh Jacobs.
Joe Burrow, Josh Jacobs panning out. Like, Jacob just picked the right people.
Oh, yeah, Joe Burrow, the surprise, right? Who knew if he was going to be good?
Yeah, and even...
No, I feel like Josh Jacobs was similar to David Montgomery in our draft, where it was like everyone knew he was probably going to be like the starter for sure, but He's never been like that great. And then he just turns into running back, what, 1 or 2 now?
He's
He's
won.
won by like 50 points.
Yeah, especially after last week for sure.
He's been a beast, although I will say I'm watching it in tandem with this right now, and he's not playing right now. I think he hurt his arm or something.
Damn, did he get to 80 yards?
I don't know.
He's got
Like, if
20
you would have
points,
told
though.
me at the beginning of the season that a duo of Josh Jacobs and like Samaje Perine would go for a total of like over 80 points, I would have called you a liar and so many other things, man. Like, it's just one of those fantasy things that just happens every year.
I vividly remember leaving the draft, and I was like, oh, I got McCaffrey, you know, like just super excited about that, and like Joe Burrow and the thought of like T. Higgins doing well this year. And then I remember looking and just seeing his name, and I was like, fuck, like that's going to be such a problem. And then it's turned out to just be like the greatest. Like, I didn't draft him as like a Josh Jacobs truther. I was just like, I can't go lower than this guy and be happy. Like, I need to at least get him. Like,
I want to give props to Jacob for hanging on to him, because he has 2 good games, and I'm selling high on him every time. At least looking back on it, I know I would have, because I did not have faith that he would be this good.
I think, in my opinion, though, the reason like I didn't like no one was offering me really, like maybe Jake in the beginning of the season was offering me for Jacobs, but I was like a losing team. I was like 0-3 or 0-4, whatever it was, and no one really.
You actually almost traded him to me for Justin Jefferson whenever I was trying to trade Jefferson, because Jesse was trying to trade me Mixon, and I was like, fuck that.
Yeah.
And then you offered me Jacobs, and I was like, I don't know if I could do that. Now
that trade I sent you, man, I swear that trade I sent you would have been a great trade.
Well, anything would have been a great trade in retrospect of what I actually ended up doing.
That's fair.
And Zeke has been good, but again, the timing of everything, there were 2 things, if I can just say real quick, because I thought about it from your question earlier. There was 2 points in the season that ruined me. Because I don't really regret trading Josh Allen. Like, I got Jefferson out of it, and I got one more player out of it, I forget. But Jefferson was the main haul, obviously. Played great for me, but then I had those 3 weeks where I lost, like, scoring 150, scoring 130, and then scoring, like, another pretty good game. And then there was the bye week for the Vikings, where I had Dalvin and Jefferson, and I needed a win. And, you know, P-Ball's in my ear talking about trades, and everybody's in my ear trying to get Jefferson or Dalvin. And, I don't know, just I felt like moving Jefferson for the best amount could help my team forward. And then everyone getting injured and just stacking up another couple losses turned me into a waiver wire demon. I got some good players, and I got a decent squad now, but it was too late. It was already too late.
Dude, Fields has been crazy. I had a claim in on him the week that you picked up Fields, because I needed just like someone to fill in, and I was thinking, man, Fields might actually be pretty good. Like,
well, I drafted him. I drafted him, and I traded for Allen, because I was like, I'm gonna start Fields, and he had one more good game, and then like a couple like off games or whatever like that, and I think that's when P-Ball traded me Kyler Murray. So I dropped him. And then, I picked him right back up like the next week.
Also,
I saw him hit it, and I was like,
the one of the bust out like fantasy quarterbacks every year. You did it last year with Hurts. Like, it's ridiculous. I can't wait to see who Hunter goes for next year. I'm just gonna poach him because they always pan out.
I'm Cliff Kingsbury, bro. I just got the vision.
Well, I mean, that's we just wanted to get everyone their, 15 minutes, tried to get everyone on the pod. But we're going to try to get the invite out to every team that gets eliminated from the playoffs. And then we'll try to clown, whoever most recently got eliminated. So bring the fire. We'll hopefully get in the season on a big ol' episode.
Wait, so you're getting in all the teams not in the playoffs? As
the ones that get eliminated.
Okay.
So as they get eliminated from playoffs or playoff contention. So next week will be a big one, right? We'll try to get as many people as possible. And if I have to, I might drop you guys and just do whoever doesn't win from the 5-way tiebreaker, right?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Like that's a big episode.
Yeah, I can't wait for that episode right before the final game where you got 10 people on the pod.
Yeah. We'll put bets down. We'll do the whole thing. It'll be
Everyone
nice
has to be muted, and you can pass like the talking stick.
Yeah,
bro.
pass the talking stick.
We'll do a live stream. We'll go on Twitch or something and see if we can get something going. Anyways, looking at week 14. Technically, Dean hasn't clinched, but there's no way anyone outscores him by 200 points. So he's in. Like, let's just be real here. Even if he loses, it's not going to happen. So it truly is a 4-way tie for 6th place. Right? It's 4 or 5 teams. I think it might be 5 teams.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're all 6 and 7. Slight points advantage doesn't really matter because your team still has to put up points and you have to win your week. So, deciding game where you gotta win your game, you can't really hope for a tie, is Siraj and Nikki. Because one of those guys is walking away with a W. One of those guys is walking away with an L. What do we think? 9 seed versus 10 seed.
I think Nikki's taking the L. Just because
Nikki's team turned into
dog water.
Dog water. I don't. It just started progressing because I looked at the scoreboard earlier in the season. He dropped like 160 on me. I don't know how the same team is still on the field. I guess.
Well,
I'll tell you how, man.
You traded for a hurt Cooper Kupp.
Yeah. He traded for a Mike Williams as well, who has not played at all for him. He's just been holding Mike Williams.
He did that trade right after he left the snowboarding ski trip or whatever with a little altitude sickness. So I'll give him a pass for making that trade, but not really. That was a horrible trade.
Yikes. Yeah, I think looking back, he thought he could pull a game out. And the thing is, his team has such a high ceiling because of that core 3. You know, you got Hill, Mahomes, and Kelsey. They have such a high ceiling. But then if he doesn't hit, 8 to 10 points on his auxiliary pieces, he's under 100, right? Even with a good game from those other guys. So I think Siraj has the higher upside. He has the points tiebreaker. I think he probably has the better roster. The issue with Siraj's roster is you never know which running back is going to actually get the touchdown, right? Like the Lions is a big-ass question mark. I mean, I don't know about you, Alfred, but I would have an aneurysm trying to decide who to play from Siraj's team because there is always a bunch of dudes that go off, and I feel like they're always on the bench. Like when I look at his scoreboard.
Yeah, it's one of my least favorite things is like having a position where there's no clear winner, and you just I love just knowing who I'm going to start, and then I don't question it half the time. That is the Siraj has the worst issue because either one's going to get the touchdown and the other's going to get all the yards and all that. So it honestly amazes me still that he's been riding Foreman so much instead of Jamal Williams, honestly.
Players that remind me of Siraj's roster are Raheem Mostert, Chase Edmonds, Brandon Ayuk, Jeff Wilson Jr. All these running backs that share time with other ones that you're just praying they get the touchdown that week.
The crazy thing is you look at his team and he has such a heavy weight on certain teams, but his matchups this week are insane. He's got the Miami stack of Tua Waddle against the Chargers, and he's got Jefferson against Detroit, and then he's got Swift and Williams against Minnesota. All fantastic matchups across the board. But that if you also caught that, he started both Lions running backs against Minnesota instead of Foreman against Seattle or whatever it is. I mean, I think he wins the game. I agree. I think he wins the game. I think it's closer than most people will think because Nicky's team's going to turn it back on. But I really hope he doesn't outscore me by 20 points and win. I at least keep it close.
I'm not going to lie. I hope every single one of Nicky's players just leaves the game early. Hey,
man.
You're
Because
wishing the downfall on him.
I need not only to win, but to also outscore Nikki by 60 to get out of cooking. So I love you, Hunter, but I don't want to be in that kitchen with you. And Jesse, I'm gonna have to take you out just to get out of it. So
I was excited to have a nice cultured kitchen, you know.
I'm excited. What are you gonna make, Hunter? Any like projections of what you're looking at?
Well, I'm gonna collaborate with whoever's in 11 because you know we're in this shit together. I don't want to just dominate, but if they want to let me take the lead, I got some recipes.
Nice.
I'm thinking something steak based. You know, I'm not gonna talk too much shit, but you know we all know that you know if we're gonna lose and make this a real money league, we got to make the dinner real nice.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
and,
And Jordan, if you beat me, you better beat me enough to make up the difference on Nikki. That's fair. I'm not going to be as mad if you do that.
I'm hoping. Right side, regardless of who gets in 11th, I know that the meal will be good because Hunter worked in a kitchen for several years of his life. So hoping that he's picked up some of that skill.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
A couple other interesting matchups that we're looking at. I'm not going to talk about those reseeding matchups. I don't know that it matters too much. We can talk about Alfred's. End of the day, you're all getting in. I think the big thing is the buys, right? So we've all got one locked down. Alfred, you got to feel good coming out of this game.
Yeah, I feel pretty good right now, especially seeing that Josh Jacobs is performing and he's back in the game. So it's, you know, if you just put yourself in a chance, like I have a feeling me and Ian's game this week will be a 50-50 toss-up. I have a feeling he'll give a good week. You just kind of hope you come out on the right side of that 50%. So that's kind of what I'm looking at this week. If you don't end up getting the bye, does it suck? Yeah, but I think the thing I'm kind of happiest about with my team right now is the fact that all the teams that I have, I feel like the Bengals, 49ers, even the Raiders, they're all like fighting to get into contention or to put themselves in good spots for playoffs. So I kind of like having a team that is fighting hard to win right now, you know. So
yeah, that's a good point. I know that it can be tough. Deep. It can be tough having a team like the Eagles, right, in week 17 or 16, where you need to win, but they don't really give a shit if they play Jalen Hurts for the first, or whoever the hell it is out there. Yeah, I mean, I think you've got a stellar. Yeah, I mean, I'm just watching the points pick up basically live. You've got a stellar lineup. If not the favorite to win at this point, I think especially after 3 weeks like this, I really thought that it might be Jake or Prue going in, depending on how everyone gets hot. But your team turned it on. You know, you laid the smack down.
I'm personally rooting for a just 1-for-1 trophy swap. You know,
it'd be a great story.
Hand
them off.
I'm just wondering, like, that would be awesome. Like, just swap.
It's just the Alfred Lang Trophy League where no one else can win a trophy. It's just you two get something different every year.
Passing the Zabo torch or whatever it is, right?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so we're looking at a couple other games. Teams that I feel bad for, you know, before tonight. I felt bad for the Redskins. You know, fighting Hefe, you know, strong seed, must-win game. But their kicker and their defense are showing out for him right now. They're giving him a chance. And he's got the Giants, Jets, and the Chiefs lined up for most of their good people. They could put some stuff up. I'd just be scared of Tony Pollard versus Houston. Like, that man could actually go for 50 points.
That could get ugly real quick. I have a feeling it'll go similar to the Dolphins game. You know, 30 points up in the first half. Take out all your good players.
Yeah. Could be dangerous. Could be. Do you consider sitting CD or Dak, you know, major Cowboy passing, you know, people? Or do you just got to ride it at this point?
I think that would be a big I'm overthinking this.
You think so?
Know, I think so. Yeah. That's being too big brain.
Dude, I don't know. I just don't think the Texans have anything. I think our defense, honestly, will score more touchdowns than we will throw for.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like the Cowboys could probably get a full game's worth of fantasy points out of the first half. Like
That's
the
fair.
starters.
That's
I mean,
fair.
the team
Depends how
put
they
up
score their touchdowns.
54. Like that's insane to watch the Cowboys throw up 54.
Didn't the
pretty
Texans beat the Cowboys last time we played them?
What, 4 years ago?
Is that
Yeah.
wishful thinking or like? Is that
No, I'm saying like this is a revenge game for Dallas. Like last time we won, they want to come in here and remind everybody who's the king of Texas. Put it on us.
I'm worried that they
I
may
don't
not be taken
Anyone's
seriously.
debating the king of Texas.
They could be talking about it,
10-1.
somewhere.
The people
10-1.
from Houston.
Oh man, hey, it's all right. At least you get to be the 1-1-1-1 team, right? Next week. Looking at a couple more good matchups here. T-ball, I think he's gonna win it. Hunter, you're pretty much just laying down this week, right? Not gonna drop. I appreciate that because you'd be giving someone else below me a better player. So
I just don't want anybody who's gonna like make a playoff run just add the last Infinity Stone by like me dropping Pittman, Olave, or Watson, who are all like playing well right now, except for
good player.
the Colts. That's
except for whoever you start.
if I had to pick one, it'd be Pittman, but I don't feel like doing that.
I would do the same if I were you. I said if Pittman dropped to the waiver, I would put a claim in on him, but I don't know that I would actually end up getting him.
Someone would.
Another interesting game. You've got Dean versus Prue. This is really more of a reseed, but Dean actually has hopes for a bye. Am I wrong with that, Alfred? I think he did that calculation. He was saying it.
So much has to happen for him to get the bye because he's one game back, correct?
Yeah, but he also has the points title.
Yeah, but
which doesn't matter.
He would have to win, and me, Prue, and Jake would all have to lose.
Well, he's playing Prue.
Yeah, so that's one.
So basically, he has to have me and Jake lose.
Jake is projected in a 50-50 game with the performance going on right now by the Raiders, and then. I don't think Ian will beat you, but you never know. He's got Saquon and ETN. They've been quiet for a while.
I don't know. I think the biggest disgrace in my projection is the fact that the Jets defense is projected negative when they put up 24 on the Bills last time.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game.
And now they have a quarterback that can sling the ball and waste time too. Yeah, I feel good about it.
Von Miller's out for the season too.
Yeah, then they got Zonovan Knight in the backfield now.
The Jets will play. It wouldn't shock me if the Jets beat them again. They have a better offense now, and their defense played really well last time. They had 5 or 6 sacks. So
yeah, Garrett Wilson going for 200 yards. That's for sure.
He could.
He's been fantastic. Picked him up off the waivers 3 weeks ago. Dude has just dropped 20 bombs every week. I needed him. Hoping it continues. Anything else? I don't know that I see anything huge. I think the market maker here is that Nicky Siraj game. If Nicky wins, might not be enough to get him in, but if Siraj wins, I think he might sneak in. Of course, I got to beat Jordan, put up a decent chunk of points to defend myself. If you had to rank the chances of those 5 teams. Who do you think sneaks in last? You got Beef Bus, Redskins, Siraj, Nicky, and Ian.
I'd be inclined to say Beef Bus just because you have the point lead by about 30 on everybody except for Ian. Ian's the closest to you, and Ian's team last week put up 114, and before that 109, and then 95. So
yeah. Yeah, he definitely had the early week points bonus. I think it was week 4 where he had this massive point advantage, if I remember right. Yeah, because he started the year 163, 183, 135, and 125. And so he just had basically everyone, blown out of the water. And then it just slowly ticked down as P-ball, Cup got going, Stafford got going, he made some trades, the whole thing. Yeah, I think if
P-ball must be stopped.
Yeah, P-ball's got it. Who beats P-ball? So we're looking at the playoffs then. If everything holds, you've got in the first round, P-Ball and Alford with the bye. I think that's a safe bet. I would probably take that if it was given to me in the Vegas line. And then you got Hefe versus Dean and Prue versus Beef. If there's a team I want to play Prue. I don't want to play CD this time of year. Dean's roster's crazy. I think Prue's my best chance, so I'm feeling okay with it. I don't know if he's going to be the guy I end up matching up against. But between that Dean Hefe rematch, feels like they played 1,000,000 times this year. Who we got in the playoffs?
Just calling our shot for like champions or like trying to match up games in the future?
Yeah, you can do games, you can do championship. We can just, go for it. Just call your final.
I'll just make a comment on each team that I think is going to be in the playoffs,
Go for it.
Obviously, Dean's team is crazy. Like, he got super unlucky early on in the year, but, his team was stacked. Everyone knew he was going to be here probably. Jacob, I mean, yeah, Josh Jacobs, you're riding him like a stallion, bro. I'm just going to say that, like a stallion. Just ride him to victory. I think you got a good shot. I think P-Ball's team is good, but it's not very deep. So, when I look at it, it's definitely a good squad. And if he wins, I wouldn't be surprised. Just being real. I'm not even talking shit. But I'm definitely praying on his downfall, man. Like, P-Ball, if you're watching this, bro, all love, but you talk more shit than anybody else I know, bro. Anybody else.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you, Hunter, because we're the only two people out. I was gonna say, of the 5 that are definitely making it, like, which one did you want to see win the trophy, and which one did you want to see fall to the ground? And I think that
P-Ball was the answer.
I think that generally, as a consensus, people even watching this know that we all want P-Ball out of the freaking playoffs.
He's been the villain, man. He cemented himself as the villain this year, and that's fine. It's cool. It made it fun. I'm not gonna lie.
I just catch shrapnel, bro. I'll be chilling on my couch, like not doing shit.
You lean into it though. You lean into it. You're still bored when he starts texting.
Yeah, it's because I live alone, bro. Like, I ain't got shit going on, bro. I'm working. I'm tired at the end of the day, and I just see my name get tagged, and he's throwing a flag my way. And I just, I won't be disrespected like this, bro.
You two are in a group chat with 10 other people in Texas. And then you're in Colorado and he's in Oklahoma, both living alone, and you all just texting each other in the group chat.
I'll see you in the streets.
But I've never, in all my years playing fantasy football, I've never met someone so hostile during and after a trade like negotiation.
Oh,
yeah. Because it's like most of the time everybody's like, oh, this guy's good, this guy's this guy's that, he can do this for you, realistic expectations, try to prove your point. But P-Ball just goes into it completely opposite. He's tearing your roster apart, just saying whatever needs to go. And like several times, whenever he's like asking me who I'm looking at waivers and stuff, and I'll say I'm just gonna pick somebody up for the tight end position. He'll be like, "Well, Hunter's picking him up," and he'll just throw it out there, and I'm just like, "Well, that's cool. I don't think Hunter's picking him up, but you just try to be a little deceitful, some deception in there, and then as soon as you make a trade, he's like, "I definitely just worked you, man. Like, definitely got the over on you."
I'm gonna say
he
one
tells
sentence.
You?
Oh, dude, 100% every time without fail.
Bro, he'll talk up a trade to you, like, yeah, you should do this shit. That'd be a good trade for you, and then you make it or some variant of it, and he's like, oh, it's a dog shit trade. Just completely flip sides. But my question is why does P-Ball send all these horrendously one-sided trades all season? And then later on in the season, I fleece him for Kyler Murray and who else was it? I think it was either a defense or like a wide receiver or something like that. I don't remember. Probably got injured. But why does he accept those trades?
I think it's the expectations get in his head. I think because he has so many ratings and valuations. Yeah, so it was Kyler, Leonard Fournette, and Evan Ingram. You said Dulcich, Stafford, and Cook.
I thought that
Is
was a
what you're
dub for
talking
me.
about?
And then
Yeah, I
Kyler
think
got injured, and then Leonard Fournette got injured.
Yeah, I think it was fine at the time. Cook was kind of mid. Stafford's on IR, so I mean, you got 3 players. Dulcich is on the Broncos, so whatever. Yeah, I think you won it in general, but I think
But
sometimes it's the idea of he likes certain players a lot more than other players, and when he locks on to that player, he's got to get that player, right?
Yeah.
So if you can figure out what the player he wants is, then you're good and you can use it against them. But if you have no idea, just don't answer the phone call. Just let
Does
him
he just-
let him go talk
he
to someone
listens to
else.
fantasy podcasts. He must just sit there and like hear these like theories by these people, and then just lock onto a player and then send out
He's like,
trades.
Yeah, that's what I
People-
want. Yeah, that's what I want.
People is also the only person who I've had a 30-minute phone call with discussing possible trades, agreeing on something, and then I received the trade offer, and it's everybody involved in the trade is nobody that we've talked about for those entire 30 minutes.
Okay, that not quite there. But he did
It's-
send me a different trade than we talked about after like 20 minutes, and I was like, come on.
Yeah.
I was
Like,
about to say,
dude.
y'all's are only 30 minutes.
yeah, I was gonna say I've had calls with actually I think it was with Jordan, Alfred, and P-Ball. I was in like the car, and I think I was talking to one of them, and then we called in another one, and then we called in another one, and then we just had a 4-way call going, just for like 45 minutes basically, just chatting,
Yeah.
just talking.
Mm-hmm.
When we were driving back from work.
Yeah, it's that
Yeah.
you talk. Yeah,
They're like, I'll
it's,
just get a call around like 12:30 my time and be like, Lang, what are you doing? Like, you trying to talk some trades?
Oh
Yeah.
man, dude, I haven't answered a phone call from people in about 3 weeks.
Oh man, it's been nice, but it's a little bit lonely, because I used to get so many work, and it'd be P-Ball 4 missed calls. I'm like, what does this dude do?
Yeah.
It's been quiet since
No,
the
it's
trade
fun.
deadline.
Yeah, and then I love can we extend the trade deadline a week?
Yeah, Jesse, I'd be interested. Next week, you need to pull up that one that we did where you found that thing where it projected the rest of the season to finish out. And I want
yeah.
that Yahoo got correct because I remember on that one it projected me to go undefeated, and right now I'm at 8-1, so it was like pretty damn close. So I'd be interested to see what those projections ended up matching up to.
Yeah, I gotta figure out where I found those. I cannot remember. I'll look into it. I'm gonna do draft analysis. I don't even know. I don't even know where I found that, dude. I'll have to look at it. What was it called? You said it was a.
You like read it off in one of the podcasts we did. It's like projections.
Oh yeah, projected finish. Yeah. Draft analysis. I gotta find it. I'll have to go back and mock draft report card. Oh man, we totally could have done a mock draft. Draft results. No, that's not it. Stat tracker. Oh, this is taking me to a whole nother league. Man, I don't know. I'll have to look into it. Can't remember where I did that.
I just want to say I'm not getting nearly as drunk next draft. 1, I'm coming with a spreadsheet.
That's
2,
how we're gonna get there, and everyone be like, who?
I
Like,
found it. I found it.
I just need a
Here we go.
spreadsheet, bro. I remember sitting down. I was so like crossed, hammered, whatever, and
Yeah.
whenever it was my turn to do something, I was like, oh my god, I just blanked on everything. I'd panic.
Yeah.
You-
Okay. So it says that to end the season, the current projections are Alfred going 9-5. So this is through 14 weeks. T-Ball getting to 10-4. And then I would make the playoffs. Nicky's gonna win. So he'll beat. Oh wow! All of Anderson loses 2 weeks in a row is what it's projecting. And then Dean stays the 5th seed, and Prue holds on to the top seed. Hunter, you're still in last. Sorry, man. And
Sorry, dog.
Jordan, you are also still in last.
Yeah. I mean, it's a stretch to get out of here, you know.
So draft day projections had Ian 1, Jordan 2, and Nikki 3. And then the current projections are T-Ball 1, Alfred 2, Prue 3. That's crazy.
To add to
That's
that,
great.
Hunter, I was surprised. I knew that I was bringing a spreadsheet. I knew that Jesse was going to bring one, but
Come on.
half the league pulled out laptops.
Dude, I was impressed. I was impressed.
I was like, man, I thought I was going to get an advantage here. I thought about just putting it away after that.
Yeah, I saw how hammered everybody was, and I was like, there's no way everybody's gonna draft well. And then y'all just pulled it together really well, and I was like,
it's personal.
fuck.
It's
I was
personal, man.
scrambling.
Next year, can we do it on like a Google Sheet so multiple people can fill in information once we start going fast?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah,
We're going to
please.
improve this situation for sure.
Or
We'll look back on it.
Scribe, that'd be kind of cool.
Say it again.
Hire a scribe.
Dude, I would be down to pitch in to someone
So,
that has a fat.
If you can
Or
actually
a type
do
of-
a draft on Yahoo, if everyone just brings their laptop and has
No, that's
No,
not fun,
no,
man.
it's
Come on, you
it's
gotta do it in
freaking
person.
auction. We can't do it online.
Well, you just take the time limit off and do the auction and then manually draft the player. Just so it
Man,
keeps the record of everything.
Let us build our own program, all right? Come on.
Yeah, seriously.
All right. I'm asset coding, so that's all y'all.
Hey, I got you.
All right. So we're coming to the end of it. 45-minute episode. Good old hefty chunk of information. Hopefully, if you're listening to us on your ride home, maybe sitting there thinking about who you're gonna start. And I think I want to end this podcast with probably the quietest person, Alfred. He's had plenty of words this year, so I'm sure he just gave up the spotlight tonight. But I do want him to close us out because it feels like we may not see a back-to-back-to-back points champion for a while. This has been a great run. Let's just give it up for a great roster. Turn up at the right time.
I'm clapping.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to my team for deciding to be active this year. It feels good to just get wins in this league. I don't really think it matters in how they come, whether it's by a point or whether you're scoring the most points. But I don't know. It's been a pleasure. I like the podcast that we're doing. I think it'll be fun, especially over the years as we spread out. So we've got a lot of good things going for us. And I think this year's playoffs are going to be ridiculous. And I'm excited to see how it shakes out.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Good to see you, boys. Good luck this week.
Have fun. Thanks for having me on.
See ya.